Quit being the nice guy and started being honest got me my girl. For most of my life, I thought being the nice guy was the cheat code to love. Hold the door. Send good morning texts. Be the emotional pillow. I wasn't faking it, I am a kind guy, but deep down I expected something in return. Like if I showed enough loyalty and patience, someday the right girl would see me. Spoiler, she didn't. I met Haley during my 3rd year of college. She was electric. Funny, sarcastic, artsy, with a wild side. I was smitten. She had a boyfriend at the time, though, so I kept my feelings buried and decided to just be there for her. And man, I was there. When she fought with her boyfriend, I was the shoulder. When she got sick, I drove across town with soup. When she needed to rant about life, I'd stay up till 2 a.m. on the phone. And every time she smiled and said, "I don't know what I'd do without you," I swore I was getting closer. She called me her safe space. I wore the title like a badge. Meanwhile, I swallowed the jealousy, the heartbreak, and the lingering ache whenever I saw her post couple selfies with the same guy she claimed treated her like crap. Still, I waited. Like a fool. Then, one night, she invited me over to talk. I was hyped. Thought maybe this was it. I wore my best hoodie, lame, I know, and even brought her favorite snacks. We sat close on her bed, knees brushing, and she leaned her head on my shoulder. My heart was thudding. And then she whispered, "Can I ask you something? Promise you won't judge." I nodded. "So, if I cheated on my boyfriend, like emotionally, not physically, would that make me a bad person?" I froze. My gut twisted. But I still smiled and said, "Well, that depends on the situation, I guess." She looked at me with a strange little smile and said, "Good. Because I think I already am with you." I should have felt excited when she said that. I think I already am with you. That's what I had been waiting for, right? Her finally seeing me? Picking me? But instead of fireworks, I felt off. Something was wrong. I asked her what she meant. She didn't directly answer. Just started stroking my hand like it was normal. Said she's been so emotionally drained and that I'm the only person who gets her. She leaned in like she was about to kiss me, and all I could do was stare at her mouth while my stomach flipped. This is not how I imagined this happening. I asked about her boyfriend. She shrugged. Said he's been distant lately and we're basically done anyway. That basically hit harder than I expected. Still, like an idiot, I stayed. I didn't kiss her, but I didn't leave either. I spent the night lying next to her, watching her fall asleep with a soft smile like she hadn't just emotionally detonated a bomb in my chest. Next morning? She kissed my cheek, thanked me for being her piece, and told me not to tell anyone about what she said. I should have walked away right then. But I didn't. I became her secret. Over the next few weeks, it turned into this weird game. She'd text me late at night, usually after fighting with her boyfriend. Call me when she was bored. Miss me but never want to hang out unless it was her idea. We didn't kiss. Didn't hook up. But it was emotional. Deep. Almost worse than physical. She'd tell me her fears, her dreams, call me pet names, even flirt when she was tipsy. And then post photos with her boyfriend the next day like nothing happened. And every time I'd act cool. Smile. Joke. Tell myself it meant something. Until I saw her out one night. I was grabbing food with some friends when I saw her across the street with her boyfriend. Holding hands. Laughing. Carefree. And when she saw me, she looked guilty. Like a deer caught in headlights. She didn't wave. Didn't smile. Just looked away. That was the moment it all snapped. I realized I wasn't the main character in her story. Hell, I wasn't even a side character. I was the emotional support bench she sat on when her feet hurt and she didn't want to walk alone. That night I went home, stared at my ceiling, and said it out loud. I'm not doing this anymore. After that night, everything felt different. I wasn't sad anymore, I was angry. Not at her. Not even really at her boyfriend. I was mad at me. Mad for letting this happen. For shrinking myself into this half-human emotional support puppet, hoping one day she'd reward me with love like I earned it through loyalty points. I didn't block her. I didn't ghost her. That would have been too easy. I needed closure. I needed to finally grow a spine. So I texted her. We need to talk. No games. Just honesty. She replied with a heart and said, "Sure, babe. Tomorrow." That word, babe, made my skin crawl. Not because I didn't want to hear it, but because I knew damn well she was saying the same thing to her actual boyfriend and probably some other poor soul too. Next day, I met her at her place. She was all smiles. Flirty. Comfortable. Like everything was fine. And I didn't waste time. I said, "I'm done. Whatever this is between us, it's over." Her face fell instantly. What? Why? I told her the truth. You don't respect me. You just use me when you feel lonely. You treat me like a backup charger for your emotions and expect me to be okay with it because I've always said yes. But I'm not okay. I'm done being someone's secret comfort zone while they live a whole life without me. She tried to flip it. Said I was overreacting. That I meant more to her than I realized. She even cried. And for a second, I felt that old pull. But I held the line. I said, "Look, I like you. I really did. But I don't like who I am around you. I'm tired of pretending I'm okay with crumbs just because I like the flavor. You don't choose me. You never did. And I deserve to be chosen." Silence. She didn't yell. Didn't beg. Just sat there with red eyes and said, "I never thought you'd actually say that to me." I stood up, walked out, and didn't look back. I won't lie, it hurt like hell. Felt like ripping out a part of myself. But there was something freeing in it too. Like I was finally taking off this costume I'd been wearing since I was 15. The nice guy costume. From that day forward, I made myself one promise. No more pretending. If I like someone, I'll say it. If something bothers me, I won't smile through it. I'm done being a shadow in someone else's spotlight. I'd rather be alone than be invisible again. After I left Haley's place that day, I felt like I was walking out of a fog. The world didn't change, but I did. For the first time in years, I wasn't waiting for a text. I wasn't hoping for a smile, a half-baked compliment, or a breadcrumb of affection to validate my existence. I had no one, but I finally had me. And I swear that sh*t felt powerful. It didn't happen overnight, but I started saying no to people. Not out of spite, but because I finally realized how much I used to bend over backwards just to be liked. I started hitting the gym. Not to get ripped or post thirst traps, but because I wanted to do something that made me feel good about myself. I stopped answering texts that drained me. I cut off people who only called when they were in crisis. I stopped explaining myself to people who didn't care to understand me. And I started dating again, but with rules. My rules. No more vague talking stages. No more "we're just hanging out" with people who clearly wanted the benefits without the connection. No more chasing. Then I met Jenna. She wasn't flashy. Didn't wear 6 filters on her face. She had this dry humor that caught me off guard and eyes that didn't look through me, they saw me. We met at a friend's birthday thing. I wasn't even supposed to go, but my roommate dragged me out of the house. She said hi first. Ballsy. We talked for 3 hours straight. Didn't even realize the party had thinned out until someone turned the lights on. At the end of the night, she didn't give me her number, she gave me her Instagram and said, if you actually want to talk, DM me. Don't send any "hey bulls **t. I laughed. She smirked. It was electric. I messaged her the next morning, not with "hey, but." So is there a minimum sarcasm level I need to meet before you agree to coffee? She replied 5 minutes later. You're already halfway there. Don't **ck it up. We met up that weekend. And for once, I didn't feel like I was trying to earn someone's affection. I wasn't putting on an act. I was just me, unfiltered, flawed but honest. And she liked me for it. No games. No weird power dynamics. Just 2 people actually getting to know each other. That's when it hit me. Maybe the problem all those years wasn't that I was too nice. It's that I was afraid to be honest. Dating Jenna felt like stepping into a world I never knew existed, where I didn't have to beg for attention or overanalyze every message. She was clear, direct, funny as hell, and didn't play games. We were about 2 months in, not exclusive yet, but we talked almost daily and saw each other on weekends. It was going really well. Then one day, the old me showed up. We were at her place watching a movie. Some action flick, loud, fast-paced, barely paying attention. Halfway through, she got a text and smiled. Not a sly smile, just a normal one. But I saw it. She picked up her phone, typed something quickly, then put it down. I said nothing. But my mind? Racing. Who was that? Another guy? Should I ask? Will I look jealous? Maybe she's getting bored of me already. By the time the credits rolled, I wasn't even watching the screen. I was lost in a loop of insecurity I thought I'd buried. On the ride back home, I almost didn't say anything. Almost. But I remembered what I promised myself. Be kind, but be real. So I texted her that night. Hey, can I be honest for a sec without sounding weird? She replied instantly. Always. I told her the truth. That the old version of me used to sit in silence and let stuff eat away at him. That I caught myself doing it again. That when I saw her smile at that text, my brain went on a stupid jealousy spiral. Not because I don't trust her, but because I'm still learning how to trust myself in relationships. She didn't leave me on read. She didn't get defensive. She called. First thing she said was, "Thanks for telling me. That actually makes me respect you more." Then she told me it was her cousin texting her a meme about their grandma yelling at the TV. We both laughed for 5 minutes straight. And just like that, the spiral ended. Not because she fixed it, but because I faced it. That was the difference. Before, I would have said nothing, stewed in it, and then let it sabotage everything. Now, I talked it out. And she matched my honesty with her own. That night, I realized something huge. It's not about being alpha or chill or nice. It's about emotional clarity. If something bothers you, say it. If you care, show it. If you need space, ask for it. Real connection isn't built on being the guy who never causes waves. It's about being the guy who's not afraid to speak while the water's moving. It was a random Tuesday when Haley slid back into my DMs. No warning. No build-up. Just, hey, I've been thinking about you. I miss our talks. My stomach didn't drop. My heart didn't skip. For the first time in years, her name felt like a notification, not a trigger. Still, I stared at the message for a solid 5 minutes. Not because I was tempted, but because part of me wanted to see if I'd changed as much as I thought. This was the girl I used to orbit like the damn moon. The girl who used my loyalty like a doormat. And now here she was, knocking again like nothing ever happened. I replied. Hey, hope you're doing alright. Polite. Short. Boundaried. She took the opening and ran with it. Said she'd been going through a rough time. Her boyfriend, ex, now cheated on her. That she realized she pushed away the only guy who ever really saw her. Classic script. Almost insulting how predictable it was. Then came the bait. Do you want to grab coffee sometime? Just to catch up. Now, a year ago, I would have jumped at that. Brushed off all the past hurt and framed it as finally getting my chance. But I wasn't that guy anymore. So I said, I'm really sorry you're going through that. But I'm seeing someone and I'm focused on building something real. I hope you find peace too. She replied, wow, you've changed. I smiled at my phone. Damn right I had. The craziest part? I wasn't even mad. I didn't feel the urge to rub anything in her face. I didn't rehash the emotional damage or demand apologies. I had no anger left. Just clarity. Because the truth is she didn't ruin me. I ruined me back then by refusing to speak up, by pretending to be okay with crumbs. She just took what I offered. That was on me. But the guy she used to know? He's gone. Jenna and I were sitting on my couch that night, laughing at some dumb cooking show where people burned pancakes and blamed the pan. I told her about Haley messaging me. She raised an eyebrow. And what did you say? I looked at her and grinned. I said I already have someone who listens to me, who chooses me. She kissed me. Damn right you do. And that was it. Closure doesn't always come with some dramatic moment. Sometimes it's just choosing not to open a door that used to lead to chaos. I used to think being the nice guy meant being soft, agreeable, invisible. But now I know, being real is better. And when you finally start showing up as you, confident, honest, clear, the right people don't make you earn their love. They give it freely. It's been 8 months since Haley reached out. 10 months since I stopped playing the nice guy. And I swear, it feels like I've lived 2 different lives. Sometimes I look back at the version of me from before. Sitting on the edge of Haley's bed, heart in his throat, hoping kindness would be enough. Hoping that just being available, supportive, quiet, and non-threatening would somehow earn love. That version of me wasn't fake. He meant well. But damn, he was lost. The old me thought love was transactional. Like if I gave enough, waited long enough, stayed silent long enough, I'd be rewarded. But real connection doesn't work like that. There's no punch card for affection. No prize for patience. You can't nice guy your way into someone's heart if they don't respect you. And respect only comes when you respect yourself. I won't pretend like I became some alpha male overnight. That's not what this is. I didn't start hitting the gym to get revenge. I didn't get a new girl just to prove a point. I didn't suddenly become emotionless and cool. What actually changed was way simpler than that. I started telling the F***king truth. If I liked someone, I said it. If I didn't like how I was treated, I said it. If something didn't feel right, I walked away even if it hurt. I stopped waiting to be picked. I started picking myself. Jenna and I are still together. It's not always perfect. We argue sometimes. We disagree. We challenge each other. But it's honest. And I never feel like I have to play a role or beg for space in her life. The love I get now feels real. Not earned. Not chased. Not conditional. Just real. To any guy reading this who's stuck in that nice guy loop, let me tell you something I wish someone had told me way earlier. Being a good person doesn't mean being a doormat. Being kind doesn't mean swallowing your needs. Being respectful doesn't mean being silent when you're hurting. If she wants someone to fix her, that's a therapist's job, not yours. If she only texts when she's bored or broken, she doesn't love you. If you have to stay invisible just to stay in her life, you're not in her life. You're just near it. You don't need to become a jerk. You just need to become honest. Stop waiting. Stop hoping. Start choosing. Start speaking. The right people won't punish you for being real. They'll thank you for it. And that's how I got the girl, not by being nice, but by finally being me.